welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm your host, Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, Shelley Chapman, who's a weight loss expert and body transformation specialist. She'll be with us for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, sitting here with Shelley Chapman, who is a weight loss expert and body transformation specialist. And I'm so excited to actually have you on the program, so welcome.
Thank you.
It's all about fitness, goals, and keeping, healthy, of course. That's one of the big things that we want. And, the year is coming to an end. So, everyone's going to be making those resolutions.
Exactly.
Starting off 2016. So I think it's so perfect to have you on here to maybe help those who are battling something, who want to go through making those commitments to a better them for the new year. So
Commitment is a great word.
Commitment. It is a commitment.
It's a long-term relationship.
I always say, it's funny that you say that, I always say my longest relationship has been my gym membership. Me and the gym, 15 years. And when
Oh,
you
wow,
think about it,
congratulations.
I've celebrated my 15th year having a gym membership.
That's
Huge. From teens going up and down, your body's changing, different things. And just because you have a gym membership or you work out doesn't mean you won't gain weight.
Right,
It's
exactly.
not an easy pass. It doesn't guarantee anything, especially when you start at a young age and your body's changing. But tell us about your story and how you got started and what you're doing now with your work.
So when I was 18 or 17, I had an eating disorder. I was a compulsive overeater, and that just really sort of took over my life and took over my body. So essentially a compulsive overeater is when you essentially overeat at every meal all the time. And so you eat past the point of comfort or past the point of satiation. And you really just stuff yourself. And the eating is sort of a quick fix for not dealing with your issues. So I had a lot of emotional issues that I was dealing with my parents' divorce. And I was using food as a way to get through that. And over the years, I started to just take the journey to heal myself. I went to counseling. And when I was in counseling, I was in a group. And it was a group of about probably 10 women. I was the only black woman there. And I was the only compulsive overeater. Most of the women were suffering from anorexia or bulimia.
Right.
And those are real popular eating disorders as well, obviously. But the compulsive overeating just wasn't really addressed as well in that group. So one of the things I was able to take away was documenting my food and what I ate and linking that with my emotions, which was something that I'd never thought about before, that what I eat is linked to how I feel. And so moving on from that group, I was like, okay, well, this is good, but it's not enough. Like I'm still missing something. And I started learning about different dietary lifestyles, veganism, vegetarianism, plant-based lifestyles, and just detoxes, healing, etc. And when I started eating more plants, eating more vegetables, detoxing and really paying attention to how my body was responding, and I started linking that to how I was feeling, then I was able to sort of get a more holistic picture and heal, essentially. But that's how I got to this point. It really started with my eating disorder. There's a lot more in between, but that's the start.
And when you started this at 18, you realized you're going through something, how fast did the weight creep up on you? Before the disorder, how much did you weigh?
Before the disorder, I was probably like around 135, 140, just standard, regular.
Average woman, normal size.
Yeah.
The disorder came on, you're going through your emotions.
Right.
You're eating to compensate for what you're going through. And we'll touch upon another topic in a few. How fast did that weight come on, though?
I don't think I noticed the weight. Like, I didn't measure how fast it came on. I remember at my largest at that point, I was probably like 165, and I remember like only being able to wear sweats. I was at Spelman College at the time, so I could only wear sweats, and I remember being like, I don't really have a expanded wardrobe.
Right.
And I felt
fat
very
clothes.
conscious, right, my fat suit. And I felt very conscious going out. Like I wasn't as social, so I just kind of like stuck myself into my books. I excelled. I did really well, but I wasn't social. I wasn't confident. So I noticed that more than anything, that my sort of social life was suffering because I didn't feel confident.
So for you, like I know for myself sometimes if I feel really stressed or irritated, I start to crave chocolate. But I've acknowledged it and I know when I'm feeling that, like I'm really angry or if I'm really, really stressed about something,
Right.
I instantly like want sugar. And you have to, I think because I've gotten to the point that I could recognize it, I would just channel my focus off of that. But it's almost like a drug when you instantly, that first bite and the sugar hits your brain, and you're like, okay, like, woosah. But that's not the right way to do that.
And sugar, to your credit, sugar is processed to be that way. So when they manufacture sugar and it goes through the processing, it's not like eating sugar cane where you have the fiber to sort of slow down the digestion and really regulate how it works in your body. When you have white sugar, generally, and it gets into your body, it creates that response, and it also creates a dependency on it. So in order for you to feel that again, you have to have the sugar. So it's definitely a vicious cycle. And when it comes to emotional eating, or if you're an overeater, the key there, and this is something that took me years to learn, but the key there is to just pause. When you feel yourself craving something or wanting something, just take a moment and just really ask yourself, like, what is it that I really want right now? And for me, I used to journal a lot. I walked around with a little pocket journal that I kept with me, and I would just take some time out and just write down everything I was feeling, whatever was in my head. Like, I didn't censor it, and usually that got the trick, because I was able to pinpoint what I was feeling or what just happened or what I was dealing with. And by the time I took it out of me and put it on paper, then I didn't need the sugar anymore, because the sugar is just a Band-Aid to sort of heal what you're feeling.
Right.
But you write it out or you speak it out and you realize, like, oh, you know what? I was just set off because somebody said something really crazy a minute ago, and, you know, it made me feel some type of way. Or I saw something and reminded me of an ex-boyfriend that I'm no longer with. So it really is just about taking those emotions inside of you and processing it through your thoughts and through your feelings, and not through food.
Now, an overeating disorder, would that be classified as binge eating as well, or those
It
are
could
two
be
separate
binging.
things?
It's still separate. It could look like binging, but generally overeating is like what people do on Thanksgiving, except for you do it every single time.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you had a problem within yourself?
2001, September 11th. I was an exchange student. I came from Spelman, and I was here in New York at NYU. And the towers came down, and I was there. Like, I was living on Broadway and 10th. I was very close, and everything south of 14th Street was shut. And so during that time, I remember it was really dark. It was really dingy. It was really dismal. It was really sad. There was a lot of, like, just a cloud, like, from the smoke, obviously, but it blanketed the city. And everybody was just walking around like zombies. And I, for the first time, like, the external environment matched what I felt inside. And so I could no longer run away from it. You know, I couldn't hide from it. I saw it. It was there all around me, and everybody was reflecting. Granted, we were going through different things, but I saw for the first time that this is what I feel like. This is what life is like for me inside, and I don't want to live this way. And so I went to NYU for counseling, and I got help, and that was the start.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Shelley Chapman right here on Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV, sitting here with Shelley Chapman. So, Shelley, you were telling us about September 11th, 2001, the day that the outside actually matched the inside of how you're feeling the clouds, the dismal feeling. You couldn't run away from it.
No.
So
No.
now, do you remember what you ate that day? Do you remember? Like, okay.
You know what? I ate the city out. Like literally everything in New York. I knew where all the bakeries were. I knew where all the fast food joints were. And then I was at NYU, so I had access to all the dining halls, and it's all you can eat. And they can cook actually. Their food is really good. Shout out to NYU. But I do remember that I used to go, and I used to sit down, and I would probably have about like thirds, like have my first and seconds and then thirds, and I would just sort of will myself out of there. But it was a very much like I was stuffing down all the pain and frustration. And nobody knew. It was very much a silent sort of struggle.
Did you eat to the point that you got sick?
Always. Like there wasn't a time, I say for like 6 years, there wasn't a time that I can remember feeling hungry because I was always full.
Wow.
Yeah. My stomach was always bloated, distended, so that's the jogging suits and that sort of thing. It was definitely, it was a lonely time, and on the outside, none of my friends knew. My family didn't know because I was able to keep up a face, and like I was still social and going out, and I was very friendly, and like I didn't withdraw from society, but I was not sharing the parts of myself that really needed sharing. And I think that's one of the challenges with this disorder is that it's something that people are literally stuffing away their pain. But the thing about it is that there's no amount of food that can feed it. Like pain doesn't need food, it needs healing. It needs you to talk about it. It needs you to address it. It needs you to, put it on the table and say, this is what I'm dealing with. Can somebody help me? And most of us are afraid to do that because then it's like you worry about judgment or you worry about bearing a part of yourself that you've carried for so long that you don't want anybody else to see. And for me, it looked like an eating disorder, but it could be alcoholism or drug addiction or sex addiction, but some
You
type of
chose
dependency.
food, but
Food was it.
you could have chosen anything else
Anything, yeah. But
to
food
cover
was
that,
it.
to mask that.
Yeah, and I chose food because I'm a foodie. Like I love food, so naturally I turned to the thing that already gave me pleasure. Like I always love food. I enjoy cooking, so I thought to myself, okay, well, this could work until it didn't.
But your family didn't notice. Gosh, Shelley eats a lot, or I guess
Shelley
there's-
always ate. Shelley always ate, but when you have an eating disorder, that's usually something that you do in silence. Like
I was
the
just
way
about to
I
say.
eat with people was way different.
Right.
That was moderated. That was that was filtered. But when I was eating by myself,
you're
and
a closet eater.
yeah, yeah. It happened at night. It happened in the bedtime. It happened in restaurants, like in a booth by myself. Like no one knew.
Wow. And to go through that, did you ever want to cry or be like, I want to stop? You're hurting yourself to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You just didn't really know how.
But I didn't know what the alternative was. Like, what else was I going to do? How else was I going to, not feel this feeling? I didn't know. I didn't know that I could talk about it. I didn't know that I could write about it. I didn't know that I could cry about it. Like, for me, I needed to be strong, and I was thriving in every other area of my life. So, I just couldn't get that part together. And I was like, well, we'll figure it out. But right now, I'm about to get down on these burgers and fries.
So what about body
food freedom.
Body food freedom. I know, the BFF.
Yeah, the BFF. Yeah, the best friend forever. Seriously, Body Food Freedom was born out of this experience, and it is my website. And it's basically where I share my recipes that I make, how I cook for my body now, because I went through a whole entire transformation. And also just other women who deal or suffer with eating issues, emotional eating especially, stress eating. I give tips and recommendations for just how to get through that process. So Body Food Freedom is a resource for any woman that's dealing with that. And I started it in 2009, and it has been a gift to myself and also to other women, because it's given permission to myself and other women to really just speak freely about what we're going through.
That's really interesting. And you actually put recipes up there, and you decided to do that. Do you find that getting to talk about what has bothered you initially what you said started as your parents' divorce.
Yeah.
But then you grow, you go through relationships, and you have boyfriends. And then do you think it's just one hurt on top of another hurt that just keeps building up?
It can, if you don't release it. It can. I work with women. I have what I call belly breakthrough sessions. Belly breakthrough sessions. And it's for women who struggle with their bodies, struggle with weight loss, and struggle with their eating issues. And every woman that's come to me, like, the story always starts with, like, well, I just eat too much, or I've been trying to lose weight and it's not coming off, or I'll lose weight and then I fall off the wagon and then I gain weight again, the yo-yo dieting.
Mm-hmm.
And in between all of that is something that happened back in 1999. Or, something that happened with a relative that they never ever let go of. So these our relationship with food and our relationship with our bodies are more complex than what we eat. So diets are good ways to sort of regulate your eating and re-understand what food is for and put in its proper place. Exercise is a great way to give your body movement, but diet and exercise mean nothing to weight loss without emotional healing. Because if you have not released your ish and really focus on what caused you to gain weight in the first place, no matter what type of diet you have, when life comes and that thing happens, you'll go right back to those same behaviors.
So it really is, like we were saying at the beginning of the program, it's really like a commitment, and you really have to address the behavior. Because, and I think it's like with any addiction, you hear people, someone will not drink for 20 years and have that one drink, and it sets
it's
you
over.
Off, and it's
sends it back. Mm-hmm. It's over. And with this one, with emotional eating, it really is about emotional management. Like, you just have to learn how to go through the day and deal with the upsets. Like, what are ways that you can deal outside of going to the vending machine and grabbing your Cheetos or your Snickers bar or your Coca-Cola when 2-3 p.m. hits and you're just like, oh, I'm so ready to get out of here. Like, what are other things that you can do when someone says something that you feel like is belittling you or taking advantage of you or feels like a personal affront? How can you take yourself out of it and realize that what this human being is going through has nothing to do with you? It's really not something that you should take on personally, but just recognize that people can only meet you where they are. So if they don't know how to have compassion with themselves, they're not going to be able to extend it to you. And so it's about learning to be your best friend again, like learning to be your own friend, learning to support yourself. If your friend is going through something, like, you'll take the time out. You'll be on the phone. Like, she can cry. She can let it out. You might give her advice. But when you go through something, what do? Like, do you just shut yourself up? Do you tell yourself, oh, just get over it? You shouldn't be here. Why are you still dealing with this? Right. No, you have to be more compassionate with yourself and really just take the time to listen to what's happening inside.
Well, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. Shelley, why don't you tell us about what has been the best moment since getting your body back, getting control, regaining your confidence, and all the good stuff that came along with, I guess, shedding that Band-Aid finally? And being able to move forward. So
first off, I never saw it as regaining control. Like, I never saw myself as out of control because I was able to control how much food I put into my body, even though it was an enormous amount. But what I saw myself was literally becoming partners with my body again. I had walked away from myself for years. So I was out there and I was accomplishing things. Like, I was able to achieve a lot, but personally inside, I didn't like who Shelley was. Like, I wasn't friends with Shelley. I wasn't taking care of Shelley. So being able to become partners with my body again and then to learn how to listen to what my body says. Something as simple as, when you're full, stop eating. When you're hungry, eat. How many of us get hungry and we put it off like, oh, 15 more minutes. I got to finish this project. I'm on the computer. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? So when your body sends you signals, like your body is saying, hey, we need something here. We need nutrition. We need some support. We need you to slow down. We need you to hurry up, whatever it is. So it's in your best interest to listen. And we really don't. We tend to ignore it. But the best thing that's come out of this is just being able to wake up, look at myself in the mirror, and love what I see. I can stand confidently, like in full nudity, and just love what's there. And for a lot of people, it's hard to look at themselves, whether with clothes on or without. But it's just hard to accept what's there, or the first thing they find is something to criticize or something to think that, oh, that's wrong, or I hate this part of myself. And when you send that much hate to your body internalizes it, and it manifests itself as sicknesses and diseases and other issues. And so it's important to send your body love and respect and nourishment and care. And I've learned to translate those feelings into food, which is why I do recipes on my website. Right. And I also have cooking videos on my YouTube channel, because it's important to sort of relearn what to eat again. So like, I love burgers and fries, but I know that if I go to McDonald's, it's not going to love me back. So if I want to like stay in this body and be in this body, I'm going to have to feed it what it needs. And the body is made up of everything that we put inside of it, including our food, including our words, including our thoughts, including our feelings. So I make it a practice to wake up and just be alive within myself.
That's amazing. How do we get in contact with you for those at home who are interested, who may want to take a class, come and see you? Speak, be a part of what you're doing.
So you can visit www.bodyfoodfreedom.com, and that is the website. And I have a newsletter that I send out every week, and so I'm updating you, letting you know what's going on, where I'm going to be. If there's any workshops I'm offering, you can sign up for those as well. And I also put out YouTube videos regularly just to show you how to cook, how to be in your body again, how to be friends with yourself, how to deal with ish when it happens, because life is going to happen. And if you're on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, I'm really active on those three. You can follow me at Shelley Wellness. That's Shelley Wellness.
All right, that's great. A lot of good information. I actually saw some of your recipes, and I was like, okay, this is great. About to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Nice.
I would love to get some more tips on healthy, good stuff. Like I said, I know I've been working out, but it's a constant process. Yeah. There's always something new that comes out. There's always a new diet. There's always little things you could implement. So you're never going to, it's a lifelong thing that you're just going to have to roll with it. So I would love to see what the YouTube channel has to make. I don't eat meat personally, but I know there's other things that you have on there for vegetarians.
I cook mainly for vegetarians and vegans, honestly. A lot of my recipes are plant-based because I don't eat a lot of meat neither. And also, too, when it comes to diets, like, don't get caught up. Next year, there'll be another phase. Like, don't do it. Don't worry about that. I think the most important diet is the one that your body tells you. Like, listen to your body. Your body knows, like, when you eat something, within 30 minutes, you can tell whether or not your body accepted it or rejected it. And you know your body rejected it if you feel bloated, if you feel inflamed, if you feel itchy, if you feel gassy. It's not good for you. Let it go. You know what I mean? There's other things, and in this big, grand world, we have access to so much food. Like, there is so much produce. Like, the earth is just bountiful. So don't get caught up in thinking that, you know, oh, your choices are going to be limited if you're not eating meat or whatever. Like, there's so much to choose from, and your body knows best what it needs. So just follow that intuition inside of you and that little voice that says yes or no, and you'll be good.
What about cheat days? You still allow yourself cheat meals?
I never ever had a cheat meal. I never ever saw food as like cheating. Food, like I said, before the eating disorder, I love food. So for me, it was just about eat it, enjoy it, and as they say, everything in moderation. Right. So again, if you're listening to your body's not going to ask you for Cheetos every day. Like, it's just not. It's not going to ask you for cupcakes every day. So when you get back and bored with your body and become a partner with it, your body's going to ask you for nutrition. And if you do have Cheetos or Snickers, don't feel bad about it. Just enjoy it for what it is, and then go about your business and eat, your regular scheduled meals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. What about some of the workshops you have coming up? Where could we?
So in January, all the details aren't out yet, but for those of you who want to lose weight and get your body right, 2016, I'll be having some workshops in January coming up. So just make sure you go to bodyfoodfreedom.com, sign up, and you will be the first to know when I release it.
That is amazing, Shelley. I mean, really, really so informative. Loved having you on here because you
Thank
really
you.
shared a lot of insight and just the fact that you've transformed yourself. You know, you took yourself from
177 pounds to 125 in 1 year.
and no
It's
surgery.
possible. No surgery, no stretch marks, no flabby skin. I just literally listened to my body and I ate. I ate according to what my body needed and I ate according to my hunger. So when I was hungry, I ate. I didn't put it off. And when I was full, I stopped and I gave my body lots of plants. And you guys, like, the healing is in the plants. It really is. Like, those are nature's gifts to us. They're full of everything we need. And again, I'm not putting anything on meat, but you don't have to have meat to survive. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
What's your favorite plant-based vegetable?
Jeez, well, right now I'm feeling Brussels. I kind of go through changes, like through seasons, but right now I'm feeling Brussels sprouts. Oh my God, Brussels sprouts for everything, and I love sweet potatoes as well. But yeah, I eat them all.
See, she eats sweet potatoes. You can still have that and eat your sweet potatoes.
Yeah,
Well, Shelley,
exactly.
thank you so much for joining us here
Thank
tonight.
you.
And if you